A decision by the Manhattan DA's office could make Donald Trump the first former U.S. president to have a criminal case brought against him.
So let's bring in James Sample with us live here. He is a constitutional law professor at Hofstra University. Thanks for bringing your time and your expertise to us this morning. You know, there are several instances where elected officials have been indicted, still run, and are elected again. Ken Paxton would be an example. So talk to us about what to expect here in this case if the presidency is any different.
The presidency is not any different in that regard, and thank you for having me. The reality is that although this would be a first in American history, as you say, and the closest we've really ever come to anything like this was Vice President Aaron Burr was tried on charges of treason after he was no longer in office, but he was acquitted. Richard Nixon came close to getting criminally indicted after he was out of office, but his successor, Gerald Ford, pardoned him. There is no bar, no prohibition on a convicted individual, even a convicted felon, even an incarcerated individual running for the presidency of the United States. In theory, an individual could be in a prison cell and president of the United States at the same time, which is particularly ironic given that many states around the country bar former felons from voting in elections, but nonetheless, the winner of an election could in fact be someone who's a criminal convict.
So is there anything then that could make him ineligible?
If he were charged in the January 6th cases for inciting insurrection, it is possible that he would then be ineligible to run under provisions of the 14th Amendment, but that would be extraordinarily unlikely. And in fact, I think there's almost no chance of that happening. Now, if he is criminally convicted in this case or in any of the other cases pending against him, those convictions will impose some practical hurdles for him to overcome. It may make it more difficult, for example, to campaign if you are restricted from traveling from state to state, but there's nothing that would bar him from running in 2024.
You know, let me ask you, we only have about 15 seconds left, but with the president, or former president, announcing over the weekend he thought he'd be arrested, is that something that law enforcement would let you know if you're of a higher position? They would tell you, hey, we're coming by on Tuesday?
Not necessarily, but I think that realistically, the only person we've heard Tuesday from as a specific date is Donald Trump himself. The law enforcement, I think, will be dealing with a voluntary surrender if and when this does occur. It's very possible that this could be later this week or even next week, and that Donald Trump is just trying to get ahead of the narrative.
Okay, so whether we'll see, actual handcuffs or a perp walk, that may not play out, but stay tuned, as they say. James Sample from Hofstra University, thank you so much for your time and waking up early with us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.